Initiating Characterpedia sequence. The Alpha Predator.
The Alpha Predator, whose real name is Kyle, meaning Rage, was a Hishq-10 who lived and served under the Amengi-ruled society prior to him leading the rebellion. After successfully overthrowing his oppressors, he became known as the First Hunter and is legendary in Hish society. Yautja history honours the noble tale of Kyle, who is forever known as the Alpha Predator.
Origin and history.
Thousands of years ago on a distant planet, the ancient ancestors of the Yautja known as the Hishq-10 were invaded by an insectoid race called the Amengi. As a smaller, more primitive strand of the modern Yautja, they lacked the strength and intelligence to fight their attackers and became enslaved for centuries as a result. The Amengi proved to be a ruthless nomadic civilization who would swarm from planet to planet in pursuit of technological ambitions after having exhausted their own world's resources. Like a parasite, they would consume everything they required before ruling what remained. The Amengi would rule the planet with an iron fist, using the Hish for slave labour, food, experiments, and entertainment in the form of gladiatorial sports and game hunting. These spectator fights proved most popular among the invaders, with some combatants gaining a cult following with enthusiasts. The upper tier of Amengi society would even place wagers on these fights, and with more at stake, large numbers of the Hish species were sought out, chemically enhanced, and trained to become money-making machines for their owners. After hundreds of years of evolution, Kyle was born into this world and gained notoriety as one of the largest and fiercest Hish fighters. The Amengi had never seen one quite like Kyle, and as he matured, he commanded respect and fear even from his own captors. This Yautja would use his abnormal intelligence to form a rebellion with the rest of his race against his masters while simultaneously appearing loyal to them. He secretly dedicated himself to liberating his people and gradually allied himself with other powerful slaves throughout the established territories. Meanwhile, the Amengi rulers grew so affluent and arrogant that they failed to see the threat that they had created. Like a predator stalking its prey, Kyle and his chosen tribe would wait for the perfect moment to strike their oppressors. A strategic insurrection was orchestrated by Kyle against the Amengi military that had become soft after centuries of inactivity. Within days, the Amengi leadership was usurped, and they faced the onslaught of countless oppressed Hish generations, culminating in these brave warriors. The Amengi's advanced technology and tough exoskeletons proved to be ineffective against the monsters that they had created. Upon overthrowing the tyranny of the Amengi, Kyle seized one of the larger carcasses, cut out the external shell, and created body armor for himself, wearing his enemy as a trophy. The technology left behind from the Amengi would lay the foundations for Yautja society as they would expand upon it, blending the scientific and more animalistic aspects of both cultures. Eventually, the Yautja became a race of hunters, taking trophies from their quarry in order to honour their liberators' methods against the Amengi. A true hunting tribe was formed, and these were the first predators. Subsequently, any remaining Amengi would be tracked and forced into slavery or executed. In honour of his achievements, Kyle would forever be known as the First Hunter, a legend to his people. He is the Alpha Predator, the one who freed territory.
Physical appearance.
The Alpha Predator has been depicted as particularly large for his species. It is however unclear if he is as large or larger than a regular Yautja, as his size was unusual at the time when predators were smaller due to the earlier period of their evolutionary development. In addition to this, he seems to have an albino appearance with pink eyes and white hair and skin that has a powder blue hue to it. Finally, his armour and mask are constructed from the exoskeleton of his oppressors.
Personality traits.
The Alpha is incredibly proud of his heritage and is incredibly loyal to his people. He is abnormally intelligent for his kind, yet rebellious to those who threaten his race.
Powers and abilities.
This Yautja was not only physically impressive for his species, but was also unusually intelligent.
Weapons and equipment.
The Alpha's primary weapon seems to be his Alpha sickle. He used this weapon in the uprising of the Hish against their cruel rulers thousands of years ago. His secondary weapon is possibly the net gun, but he also possesses a healing kit and bear trap. Other weapons and equipment in his possession include Cloak, Alpha Wrist Blades, Plasma Caster, Alpha Spear, Alpha Biomask, Vocal Mimicry, Wrist Gauntlet, Self-Destruct Device.
Weaknesses.
As a legendary predator, this individual has no known weaknesses, displaying both intelligence and strength.
Allies.
The Alpha's best known allies include the powerful slaves he recruited to help his rebellion, as well as his Yautja species in general.
Enemies.
This Yautja's most obvious enemy is and was the Amengi.
Significant moments.
The Alpha's most significant moments include recruiting a group of powerful slaves to assist with the rebellion, leading the rebellion against the Amengi and ultimately freeing his people, claiming the first Yautja trophy from the mutilated corpse of his prey.
This file terminates here. End sequence.